Talia.
Hey!
Interesting place to be reading.
Yeah, I think so too. Okay, bye.
Bye.
Wow, yeah. I guess the best books can really take you away to completely unexpected places, just like this one. You know, I think that's what this book talk is going to be all about. Books that can completely take you away without a passport needed. Let's get right into it. Hello everyone, and welcome to another Book Talk with Talia. Now, before I get into the books that are going to take you away, I just wanted to remind you to click here to subscribe to the Shelf Stuff channel so you don't miss a single one of my videos or any of the other cool videos that we have coming out. And without further ado, let's get right into the video. One book that'll take you away in an unexpected way is A Dastardly Plot by Christopher Healy. Now, this book is the first book in the A Perilous Journey of Danger and Mayhem series. Now, Christopher Healy also wrote The Hero's Guide to Saving Your Kingdom, so if you liked that book, you might want to check this one out too. So this book is a mixture of real history and fantasy. This book takes you away not because of where it's located, but when it's located. It's set in 1883 during the Age of Invention. Our main character is Molly Pepper, who is the daughter of an amazing inventor named Cassandra Pepper. Unfortunately, people do not pay much attention to Cassandra or to her inventions because she's a woman. Back in 1883, that's just kind of how it was. So Molly and Cassandra live in New York and survive by running a pickle shop, Pepper's Pickles. But at the end of the day, they know that Cassandra has what it takes to be a great inventor, and Pepper's Pickles isn't exactly how they want to live their lives. Lucky for them, the World's Fair is coming to New York, and Molly and Cassandra are both sure that this is going to be Cassandra's moment to shine. Cassandra will be able to show off her inventions at the fair and maybe finally get the recognition that she deserves. And yet, once again, because Cassandra is a woman, she's turned down and told that she will not be able to show her inventions off at the fair. No matter how good her inventions are, Cassandra just can't seem to catch a break. Now, at this point, Molly is not happy. So she and Cass hatch a plan to break into the Inventors Guild. They think if they get into the headquarters, they might be able to display Cass's inventions anyway. But what they discover at the Inventors Guild headquarters is unlike anything they could have ever expected. And now it's up to them and their new friend Emmett to stop a crazy plot to destroy New York. And this plot may have been started by one of the world's most famous inventors. Scandalous. And that is A Dastardly Plot, the first book in the A Perilous Journey of Danger and Mayhem series by Christopher Healy. One book that will take you away into a dystopia is Forgotten City by Michael Ford. So this is the first book in the Forgotten City series about a city you may know about that is now forgotten. Our main character is 13-year-old Kobe, who lives in Seattle, but it's a Seattle unlike any that we have seen before. The year is 2044, and in Kobe's world, there's only him and his dad. 12 years ago, a deadly virus named the Waste took over the world, destroying cities and killing millions. Now, the Waste is still around, and it's mutated and infected anything that it couldn't kill. Plants, insects, and animals have all been mutated into these unnatural states in which they have abilities they definitely would not have had they not been mutated. So Kobe and Dad are the only ones left, and Kobe's dad has been trying super hard to find a cure for the Waste. But one day, when Kobe's dad goes out to keep working on the cure, he doesn't come back. Even though Kobe knows that he shouldn't step out of his safe area to look for his dad, he just can't imagine being alone, and so he goes out to try and find him. What Kobe finds while he's trying to find his dad is incredibly shocking. He actually finds other people. It turns out Kobe and his dad were not the last ones after all, and some other kids have also survived somehow. Now, it's looking like the world that's been left behind after the Waste wasn't exactly like Kobe's dad told him it was. So now, Kobe and his new friends have to try and figure out the truth behind the Waste and the world in general. And, not to mention, they still have to survive after all of these mutated animals and creatures try to attack and kill them. And that is Forgotten City by Michael Ford. One book that may actually take you to a new location is Angel and Bavar by Amy Wilson. Now, this book was actually first published in England, and it takes inspiration from Beauty and the Beast. So the book does kind of have a European feel to the setting, but that being said, you can also look at it as just a fantastical story that will take you away magically. To start, Angel is a girl whose parents were recently killed by monsters. Her whole life has, of course, been turned upside down by this tragedy, and now she's living in a foster home. Along with all this, she's also trying to fit in at a new school. Now, on the other end of the spectrum is Bavar, a boy who's never really wanted to get close to anyone because he's not exactly normal. Bavar has this magical ability to hide himself and who he is from other people, but for some reason, Angel can see through it completely. Angel is able to see that Bavar is a 7-foot tall boy with pointed teeth, but the weirdness doesn't end there. Bavar actually lives in an enchanted house where he talks to his ancestors through magical portraits and fights monsters that come in through an otherworldly rift. Strangely enough, the monsters that Bavar has to fight look an awful lot like the monsters that killed Angel's parents. So of course, Angel and Bavar have to work together to stop the monsters. Hopefully, this will help Bavar have to not fight them for the rest of his life, help Angel heal, and potentially save the world at the same time. And that is Angel and Bavar by Amy Wilson. You can expect to be swept away in this next book, The Collectors by Jacqueline West. Now, this is the first book in a duology that's filled with magic and will make you think a little bit more about the wishes that you make. So our main character, 11-year-old Van, has never really quite fit in. He moves around a lot for his mom's unusual job, and his best hobby is collecting trinkets and strange little things that people leave behind. He also has a hearing disability and has to use hearing aids, so he's always felt just a little out of the loop. One day, while Van is looking for some treasures, he sees an old man flip a coin into a fountain, probably making a wish as most people do. But the strange thing is that a girl and her squirrel seem to run out and start looking at the coins in the fountain as soon as the wish is made. So it's not every day that you see a person talking to a squirrel, so Van tries to strike up a conversation with the girl, but she gets away from him. Later on, Van sees the girl again and decides to follow her without her knowing. He ends up being led to this strange building that opens up to the magical world of the Collectors. Now, the Collectors are creatures who can gather up people's wishes. Van finds out that the girl named Pebble and the squirrel named Barneveld are both collectors. Now that Van knows the truth about the Collectors, Pebble sets him out on a task to find out about another collector, a more shady collector who may be doing some bad practices. While on his mission, Van starts to realize that the Collectors might not be doing the right thing by taking the wishes. But if they don't take the wishes, they can end up being completely dangerous, and now Van is completely caught up in this magical world. And it turns out that Van's abilities to sense beyond just what he can hear end up being a huge asset in this magical world. And I won't spoil you on why because I've already said quite a lot. And that is The Collectors by Jacqueline West. One book that will have you sailing away to a new place is Time Castaways #1 by Liesl Shurtliff. This is, of course, the first book in the Time Castaways series, and as you may guess from the title, you are going to be taken to other times and other places. Our three main characters are all siblings, and the oldest is 12-year-old Mateo, who was adopted from Colombia. Ruby and Corey are twins and Mateo's younger brother and sister. Their life in New York is pretty good, but their parents have always had this strange rule that they are not allowed to ride the subway without a parent, ever. So even though life has gone by just fine without using the subway alone, one day Mateo, aka Matt, Corey, and Ruby all wake up super late for school and they basically have no choice but to take the subway. So they all get on the subway, and at first they think that they must have gotten on the wrong one because things are not going the way that they normally would. But soon they find out they are not on any ordinary subway. Matt, Ruby, and Corey are actually on a time-traveling pirate warship called the Vermilion. Their captain is on a quest to collect artifacts from around the world, and at first that seems fun, but things change quickly. Matt starts to get increasingly suspicious that something may not be right with the Vermilion. He even starts to think that he, Ruby, and Corey may be in for a lot more than time travel. And what is more than time travel? I don't know, but it might not be great. And that is Time Castaways #1, The Mona Lisa Key by Liesl Shurtliff. Another great book on this list is The Storm Runner by J.C. Cervantes. This is the first book in the Storm Runner series, and yes, I know I have a lot of series books on this list, but apparently they all want to take you away, so I don't know. Lots of series. 100% this book will most likely bring you to a place you haven't been before. It's set in New Mexico and really dives into Maya mythology. So to get right into the book, our main character Zane has not had the best luck making friends in life. He has one leg that's shorter than the other and he uses a cane for it and has been completely bullied about it. Zane tries not to let it get him down. He is a very positive person and he loves his family and his dog, and he basically has a volcano in his backyard, and that's just about the coolest thing ever. Zane even likes to hike up the volcano sometimes, even if it's a little bit harder with his cane. So one night, Zane is watching the volcano, as one would if they have a volcano in their backyard, and he sees a plane crash into it and cause a huge explosion. This ends up leading to a strange chain reaction of events. Zane meets a girl at school named Brooks. Brooks tells him that he is destined to release an ancient evil god from a Mayan relic. And along with that, Zane finds out that the volcano is actually a gateway to another world. An unexpected uncle believes Zane wholeheartedly and helps him to discover his unfulfilled, magical, mythical destiny. Things get crazy. And that is The Storm Runner #1 by J.C. Cervantes. One book that will both show you a new place and a new perspective is The Quest of the Cubs by Kathryn Lasky. Now, this is the first book in the Bears of the Ice series. Kathryn Lasky also wrote the Guardians of Ga'Hoole series, so if you liked that or just want to learn more about the mysterious and magical world of Ga'Hoole, definitely check this book out because it's set in the same place. And like I mentioned, you're not only getting a new place here, you're also getting a new perspective. This book is told from the perspective of 2 polar bear cubs. So you get to say goodbye to your human instincts for a little bit while reading this one. To begin, the polar bear cubs first and second are still very young and don't even have official names. Even though they're only 1 year old, they can already tell that they are very different. First is a boy cub who doesn't want to step into life as much as just imagine it. Second is a girl cub who wants to experience nothing more than everything life has to offer. Of course, life comes too soon for the cubs when a group of power-hungry bears named Rogers come to steal them away from their mother. First and Second's mom decides to sacrifice herself to save the twins. And now First and Second have to try to survive in this harsh, frozen Arctic land with barely any food and no idea how to live on their own. The land is full of predators and constant threats, and First and Second only have each other now. If all that wasn't enough, the twins also decide that they have to find their mother. But it's not going to be easy considering she was taken by a group of bears that no one wants to mess with. And that is The Quest of the Cubs, the first book in the Bears of the Ice series by Kathryn Lasky. And those are all of the books that I have for you today, but as always, if you have any other books that took you to a new place or time, please leave them in the comments section down below so I know. Make sure to like this video so I know you liked it, and don't forget to subscribe to the Shelf Stuff channel so you don't miss a single one of my book talks. I will see you next time. Thanks for watching, and there are actually a ton of books that I have in my playlist, so make sure to check out the playlist too so you don't miss any of my old videos if you haven't seen them already. Alright, I've said enough. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye!